So I was cooking and I thought of something. A lot of times we have character defects or things that we don't really like that we do that seem to have been ingrained in us through like either habit or repetition. It could be thoughts, it could be emotions, it could be language, it could be habits, whatever. And sometimes we recognize that what we're doing is something that we want to change, but yet we've been doing it for so long that it makes it like feel impossible to change. And an example that came to my head was like getting into arguments with people over disagreements that cause emotions to stir up and basically does more damage than the love that you actually have for these people. And it's funny because I thought of an example of my friend, and it only just happened to be a good example in my head, not to point out my friend at all, And so it was like, my friend argues with his relatives almost every time that they encounter each other. Almost every time, not every time. And one could say, like, if he realizes what happens and he's trying to prevent it every time he's there, maybe he'll just try harder every time. But yet we're putting ourselves in fire and trying not to burn, and we're not putting on any fire equipment. So it's actually doing negative, not positive, right? Now, when I had these thoughts in my head, this is kind of just like how it went. I was like, what if we made progress by trying to prevent these scenarios, not trying to put us through them, so that way we could get stronger? And I get the idea in thought that it like sounds good to just put yourself through something and get that practice or experience. But realistically, in my head, this is just the way it went down. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I just wanted to express an observation and get it out of my head so it somewhat was maybe organized, whatever that means. And so, if I could train myself on how to prevent scenarios that I am trying to deal with, like if I am struggling with lust, I'm not gonna go to a nude beach, or maybe not even a beach at all, because of what's going on. Not that I can prevent walking outside and yoga pants happening. I mean, grandma's getting it with yoga pants. Yoga pants are from the devil. I don't care how comfortable they are. Do you realize how much of a dog every single man is? Like every single man. And young man. Boners are real. And there's NRBs, no reason boners. Side note, yoga pants, bad, right? So if I am trying to prevent lust, I might have to turn away when I see a commercial for the SPCA that's got some really hot chick on it. She could be dressed conservatively, but yet this thing up here, in here, if there's even one in here, the brain, whatever, can go nuts. Now, I get it, some things are unavoidable, but what can I do to prevent myself from tripping and falling, possibly less? Not that I'm not going to trip, not that I'm not going to fall. I know it's going to happen, but I want to prevent it from happening as much to my own ability. Now, going back to the whole, somebody putting themselves in a situation where they're struggling with, that's what I'm trying to get at. Whatever that X factor is, what strategies can I do to prevent myself, but not be naive, but prevent myself in a way that I am fleeing from, I guess, with the lust example, flee lust. That I am running from it, preventing myself from encountering it to the best of my ability, going out of my way, literally, to avoid that, because it's a domino effect. Like, even if I unintentionally, accidentally, whatever, driving down the road, bang, whatever, you see something, could be anywhere, might affect my brain a little bit later on. It might not be till later on when I'm all by myself that thought comes to the surface. That's just with, like, say, the example of lust. Now, like, back to the example of, like, say, a friend and their relative. I'm not saying they need to prevent themselves from spending time with their family. But if I'm struggling with an issue between me and a family member, I might have to limit or distance that relationship until I can deal, or they can deal, or we can deal with the situation accordingly. That doesn't mean instinctively and instantly, like, come to each other and be like, we need to settle this now. No, if I say sorry to you, that doesn't mean that you are ready to forgive me just because I say I'm sorry. Everybody works at different paces, so, sorry, squirrel, but it was a cat. Just because I'm ready doesn't mean somebody else is ready. So basically I have to, I guess, in a way, put on the full armor, in a way. Anyway, that was random. Rant over? Peace.